If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or anything gaming related, check the referral links down in the description. They'll take you to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods already, and with the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well.
Hey guys, how's it going? Chez back again, and welcome to episode number 7 of the Inter Milan career mode here on FIFA 15. We were in fantastic goal scoring form yesterday. I won't spoil any of the results, but if you want to check yesterday's video, there will be an annotation in the bottom left hand side of your screen to take you there, or of course feel free to check the channel page itself for anything you might have missed over the past few days, whether it be this series, the My Player series, or the career mode Road to Glory, which will of course return to you tonight. But we're starting with a game against Atalanta today in the Serie A, hoping to build on a decent form so far. They've got Sergio Romero in goal, who obviously is a decent Argentinian goalkeeper. I'm not really too sure what to expect from a lot of these sides in Italy. I'll be honest, my Serie A knowledge isn't the best. It's not a league that I tend to watch too often, and obviously without them having been involved in too much Champions League action either over the past few years, I'm only really familiar with kind of the big four or the big 4 or 5 teams in Italy. So when it comes to the sort of threats that teams like Atalanta face or pose, I'm not really too sure what to expect, but hopefully we can get a good result here in this opening game today. As you can see, we're having a chance there through Mauro Icardi, unfortunately firing that shot high and wide, not quite able to find his range just yet, but after really, really good goal scoring form yesterday, and the ball just seemingly went into the net every single time we kicked it. So far in this one, we can't seem to find our scoring boots. Another shot that goes just wide thanks to Lucas Podolski this time on his left foot as opposed to Icardi's right. So we headed into the second half, and I wasn't really too sure whether we were actually going to be able to find the back of the net in this one, or at least we're in stoppage time at the end of the first half, as we head very, very close to the second half, and it's Brozovic, who is going on a nice little run here actually, finds Icardi, gets the turn in, this time surely no, hits the outside of the post. Not really too sure what Icardi is best at, whether it's, powering the ball in with a lace shot or trying to finesse it. I'm trying to experiment with him right now and see what actually works, but the amount of chances we've had so far and we still can't get a goal, but the first chance for Atalanta in the game, and they do get a goal. It took 1, 2, 3 deflections before it went into the net through Handanovic's legs. There's the first and the second, almost off both legs of the defender, then through the legs of the goalkeeper, in off his heel. Unfortunately, we have to settle for an own goal to let Atalanta take the lead. But I was hoping to get myself in front, or at least back on level terms, by setting through to Bala here. Nice turn, nice pace to get away from the defender. Always confident in situations like that our new youngster, is going to score opportunities in that fashion, and he does so. So 65 minutes in, we make it 1-1. Finally, we do find the back of the net after trying so hard for the majority of the game. But then they went up the other end and scored again. So I was a little bit put out by that. The fact that we've had numerous efforts and have scored once, and they've had 2 shots and scored twice. So, on the back foot, definitely on the back foot. So as you can see, top left, I brought on Musa Sissoko for Mateo Kovacic. He had a positive impact yesterday in the game against Palermo, trying to have the same sort of impact today with a great shot there from distance. Good save by Sergi Roberto, though. So Sergio Romero, the goalkeeper in between the sticks for Atalanta. But we're working the ball about nicely. Podolski into Sissoko, is going to find Icardi. Somehow manages to get that under control. Not really too sure why he struggled so much, but good shot again, well saved. And unfortunately, that's our first defeat of the season. 2-1 at home against Atalanta. So after being free scoring yesterday, we're pegged back and find ourselves conceding twice, only scoring once despite numerous efforts, and losing our first game of the Serie A season. So understandably, in the next game against Cagliari, I really wanted to ensure that we came out not only with a victory, but with a decent scoreline as well. The question is, am I actually going to be able to do that? So you can see AC Milan still down there in 15th. Atalanta, the side that just beat us, have now leapfrogged us in the league, although we do have a game in hand, and hopefully we can pick up 3 points here against Cagliari. We'll be able to get ourselves back up towards those Europa League or Champions League spots, and maybe even towards the top of the table as well. As we ended yesterday, Napoli were top, and we'll try and close the gap to all of the teams that are near the top. But as you can see, another game at home at San Siro this time. Fortunately, without the giant shadow on the pitch this time as well. Of course, that's something that kind of puts a lot of people off actually playing as Milan, either in head-to-head or on career mode, is those sunshiny games, those games during the day where the sun is shining brightly and you get that massive shadow on this near side half of the pitch. It does make it quite difficult, but we're trying to power through that. Mateo Kovacic, after we had a really terrible effort in front of goal in the previous game, it took us 1 minute 58 seconds to take the lead in this one. Really pleased with the response from the side to disappointing defeat, and after 2 minutes we have ourselves a 1-0 lead. Palacio's into the box here. Good tackle by Diakite, the defender, though, but Gary Medell's going to square it to Kovacic. Chance to get his second, but unfortunately rifles that one wide of the post. So we have to make do for the time being with our 1-0 lead, and the question is, can we extend that? Because considering the way we played against Atalanta defensively, I wasn't too sure whether I could keep a clean sheet here, and as you can see, Cagliari are pushing forward. Nice ball into Marco Sau here, and a great finish, to be fair. Really top finish. So 12 minutes in, it's 1-1. Cagliari and Marco Sau in particular were going to be a tough ask here to get a decent result, as you can see, and Poco is actually trying to create another chance here for Cagliari. It gets a lucky deflection once or twice. Eventually, we do get the tackle in. And Juan Jesus, of all players, is going to push out a defence, get it up to Rodrigo Palacio. You see the man making the runs on the far side. Decide to come to this side instead. Cavanda plays through Riccardi. A great first and second touch to get inside the defender. And this time, we've tried lace shots. We've tried finesse shots. This time, with the outside of his right foot, powers it into the back of the net. And almost kind of ridicules his, or the hate, that not necessarily hate, the criticism I've been giving him so far. I just did a default celebration. He kind of put his hand to his ear to be like, what you saying, Tez? I can score goals. I just showed you. And then Shaqiri squares it across to Palacio. And before we get to half-time, we do have a 3-1 lead and a nice, comfortable margin between ourselves and Cagliari. But clearly they can score decent goals. Marco Sau proved that in the first half. But we're hoping to extend the lead if we possibly can as we head deeper into the second half. Only just after half-time here. Lovely little jump over the challenge from Mauro Icardi. Gets into Freddy Guarin. I haven't yet scored a long shot with him so far this season. I haven't actually scored a more than 1 or 2 goals with him yet this season. He's supposed to be a fantastic goal-scoring midfielder and an all-round player, but so far he's been excelling defensively, but not necessarily scoring a lot of goals. He's been working the ball about nicely. We've had a couple of assists actually with him, scoring some nice goals as well by playing the ball about, and then him just arriving in the box, kind of Frank Lampard style, just at the end of a move, arriving on the edge of the 6-yard box to side foot it into the back of the net. But as you can see, Cagliari on the attack again. We had the 3-1 margin, but they came close to scoring a goal a second ago, and the ball is going to rebound off the bar. Missed the first player, but the second guy is actually going to head it in. So 3-2 in stoppage time at the end of the second half, but we are able to squeak ourselves across the line and make it into 3, Cagliari 2, and stay with that 3 points that we needed to kind of counteract the defeat against Cagliari. So we're jumping into the third and final game of the episode, and it's the second game of the Europa League season. We were decent actually yesterday against Lokeren, picking up a 3-1 victory. Rostov have beaten Trabzonspor as well. Not sure by what the scoreline was, but clearly, as you saw there by the goal difference, it was by a 2-goal margin. And they've brought in Zuba, the striker from Spartak Moscow, so we definitely know that he's going to be a problem. And they're playing a 5-4-1, and it's very, very defensive, especially as the home side as well. And again, same with Lokeren yesterday. I'm not really too familiar with the Russian league. I only really know a couple of the bigger sides, so like Spartak Moscow and Zenit, etc. So I wasn't really too sure what to expect from this one, but we're continuing with our 3-5-2 formation. That was the one we found most profitable for us in pre-season, and so far it's the one we found most profitable for us in competitive games as well. Freddy Guarin trying to find his range there. Decent shot from him on the edge of the box. That was arrowing towards that top corner, but unfortunately it went just wide, and you can see from the replay it really was just wide, only a couple of inches the wrong side of the woodwork. So Freddy Guarin trying to find his range from distance. We'll have to wait and see what happens in the remainder of the game to see if he can finally find his range. But Zuba with a great shot there, draws a good save out of Samir Handanovic. He's been okay for us so far, Handanovic. Obviously grown a couple of ratings as we saw on Monday with the squad report, and obviously a couple of mistakes from him so far. Perhaps should have done better with a couple of the goals we've conceded this season, but all round he is a very good goalkeeper. We're trying to get ourselves in front at the other end of the pitch, but Palacio draws a good save out of their goalkeeper Pletikosa, who I think is Croatian. I'm not entirely sure, I might be wrong, but I think last year in my when I was doing Ultimate Team content and we were looking at all of the various different international squads, I think Pletikosa was the goalkeeper I used for the Croatian side. So I definitely know that he's a decent keeper because I remember actually liking him. So I knew I was up against it to try and get the ball past him in this one. As you can see though, Rostov were going to have themselves a few forays forward as well. Gatkan's going to get the ball back into the midfield here. And they're passing the ball about really nicely. Some great one-touch, two-touch football here from Rostov. Square the ball into the box. There's a good header and it needed a save down low by Handanovic. So after not really knowing too much much about them heading into the game. I was being shown by them themselves playing some good football that they are a decent side, but I fancied myself to try and get a goal. As you can see here, Freddie Gorin still trying to find his range from distance, but plenty closer with those diving saves and great handling to hold on to the ball as well. Was proving to be a rather tough nut to crack. Freddie Gorin involved again here, trying to work the ball in the build-up. We get a little bit lucky with the way it drops back to us here on the edge of the box with Palacio. Still trying to find our way through for a first goal. There's Dybala into the box on his right foot, not his favoured left. And unfortunately, they were going to smash it clear. So with just over 15 minutes to go, I made a change. We're going to bring on Moussa Sissoko and Lucas Podolski. Podolski's going to go up top, and Moussa Sissoko is going to sit in that centre mid role. And then literally from the throw-in that we just had after making those changes, Sissoko finds Freddie Guarin. He's going to let rip. And this happens. What a strike from Freddie Guarin. That is, without any shadow of doubt, the furthest out I've scored so far on FIFA 15, and it looked as if the ball absolutely arrowed into that top corner, like the shot he had at the beginning of the game, where he hit it really flush, straight and true, and it just rifled towards the top corner. And this angle doesn't really do it too much justice there. It looks as if it did just rifle the same way that the earlier one did, but if you have a look at this replay from this angle, look at the arc of the ball. That is a ridiculous shot from Freddie Guarin. One of the best long shots I've ever scored on FIFA 15. I was hoping to be able to score some goals like that with Freddie Guarin this season, because he does have that reputation on FIFA, at least, for scoring a cheeky long shot or two. And to be honest, I will take that. That's the best long shot I've scored all season. And that was a decent chance there for Moussa Sissoko, almost replicating the nice bend on the ball there to try and arrow it inside the bottom corner this time rather than the top, although it was a little bit closer in than Freddie Guarin's chance earlier on. And from a ridiculously good goal, an amazing goal, to a ridiculously silly goal and a kind of a FIFA-ish goal, where Cavander, my right back / right mid, rifles the ball straight at the goalkeeper, and as you'll be able to see from the replay, he just kind of dives out the way of it, which is really strange. We get lucky with the rebound. I just hit it for the sake of hitting it, and the keeper dives out of the way of the ball. So we make it 2-0, but to be fair, that Freddie Guarin shot was enough and was good enough to warrant us winning that game through just that one goal. I was just pleased that we were able to get a second and improve our goal difference. And as you can see, we sit third in the table now. Unfortunately, we have lost our first game of the season, as you saw at the beginning of the episode, but that hasn't necessarily stunted our growth in the league so far. We sit third, just 2 points behind Lazio in second and 3 points behind the undefeated Napoli at the top. I was about to say they're the only undefeated side in the table, but as you can see down in 14th, Torino yesterday played 3, drawn 3. They've now played 5, drawn 5 in the league, so they're undefeated still as well, but find themselves in 14th. Ridiculous. Played, judging by the scorelines as well, they must have either drawn, it looks as if they've drawn all of them 1-1. They drew 1-1 with us at the beginning of the season in the opening day. 5 games played, 5 draws, 5 goals scored, and 5 goals against, and 5 points. So, you never know, Torino might actually get a win sooner rather than later. We'll have to wait and see. Empoli too, getting 4 draws and a defeat from the opening few games. So, it's a really strange league table so far. As you can see, though, Juventus and AC Milan starting to rise up the table now, and Roma up into 6th. So they're putting together some results now, and will be closing the gap to us at the top, the same way that we want to close the gap to the top at Napoli. So fingers crossed we could do that in the next couple of episodes. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already, of course. Check the channel page for anything you may have missed over the past few days. Tonight we'll be having a look again at the Career Mode Road to Glory. We're actually playing a couple of very important friendlies today to kind of judge where we are against Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund as Cambridge United of all teams. So hopefully we can have a decent game today, or decent couple of games in that series tonight. Of course, that will go live at 8 p.m. I will be streaming Football Manager on twitch.tv/Chesnoy Gaming as well, of course, as I always tend to do. So follow the links in the description to my Twitch and to my Twitter. But that will bring today's video to a close. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you this evening.